So welcome back to Black Book Stacks. I'm your host, Joshunda Sanders. It has been a minute. Hopefully you can see my lovely Women of the Post cover in the background. It's a cover that my publisher made for me when I was doing publicity stuff. It has been a wild month and a half, I guess, so far, and all good things. So thank you so much for your support. If you bought a copy, if you were at any of the events that have been held so far, and I have some cool ones coming up at the Wilmington Public Library on Wednesday evening of this week coming up, August 30th, if you're watching this in late August. And then in late September, I'll be at the History Book Festival, also in Delaware. So yeah, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Joshunda, which is my only active Instagram account, because there's been some duplication recently, for updates and promotions. And yeah, I think that's it for stuff about the novel, which has been really exciting. When I am between projects, it is a relief to get to read other things, and so I posted on my Substack of the same name about Chain Gang All Stars, which I finished and really loved. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. I thought that I would also just give an update on what's coming out this fall, because fall is right around the corner, as everyone continues to remind us. And I have some really good arcs that have been sent to me. One of them is digital, but I really love it, and I think that it is the initial imprint on John Legend's publishing endeavor, and it is a collection of Black love letters, like in all forms. And so and I think it's just called Black Love Letters. I think it comes out in October. So I just wanted to shout that out, because it's been really nice to dip in and out of that. I haven't spent too much time with it, but so far so good. And with that, I'll get into some of the other ones. Coleman Hill by Kim Coleman Foote is a biomythography, which is a term that was coined by Audre Lorde, and it tells the story of two American families whose fates become intertwined during the Great Migration. I love reading books about the Great Migration, particularly since I read Isabel Wilkerson's The Warmth of Other Suns, which was just a masterpiece and will, I think, always be like a standard in terms of exploring the depth and the range of what the Great Migration meant for African Americans, and so I mean even for the Black diaspora. So this comes out September 5th, and it is an interesting look at Kim Coleman Foote's family history intertwined with like sort of historical records. So I'm really excited to check that out and see how it goes. This is not the final cover, but it's still pretty cool nonetheless. So there is that. I received this a long time ago. Now I just haven't had a chance to dig in. It's called The Black Angels. So if you know anything about Women of the Post, you know that it is a story that has been told, but has aspects of history in it that have not yet really been recovered or unearthed in the way that I did that, as it relates to the Bronx slave market, connecting that to the story of the Black women who served during World War II as part of the 688 Central Postal Battalion, also shorthand. They are called 6888. There were 855 of them. And so I have this now, after spending several years with material about Black people in World War II, but specifically like Black women who have done things in history that have been mostly erased or not really considered. I now am always sort of pitched those things, which I love, but also learning about other Black women who have done amazing things in history, and finding other authors who share that passion for like making sure that other people know that that contribution is visible. All that to say, Black Angels is about Black nurses who during the Great Depression and throughout World War II were instrumental in caring for 1,800 people who suffered from tuberculosis. And so this is based on the writer Maria Smilios, who was a science book editor when she discovered the Black Angels and was determined to tell their story. And so they actually helped cure tuberculosis. And I have not started reading this yet, but there are 5 women pictured. I don't know if they're the only 5. I hope that there are more, but even if they aren't, it's great to learn about them, and especially because I'm so interested in health and the history of public health, I'm excited to dig into that. Next up in October is The Unsettled by Ayana Mathis. It's been a little while since her debut novel, The 12 Tribes of Haiti, which I loved. This is a multi-generational novel set in the 80s in Philly and also Bonaparte, Alabama. So I love this cover. I don't know if it's final or not. It may not be. That's a thing. But I was born in Philly, so I love Philly narratives, and so I'm excited to see what Ayana Mathis does now and what she's doing next, and so that's really cool. How to Say Babylon is a memoir about Safiya Sinclair, who grew up Rastafari and then I think, sort of came into her own experience and beliefs as a woman and a poet, and this is the story, and it's gotten like really great advanced praise, and really nice things have been said. Again, I haven't really had a chance to dig in or even crack that one open, but I'm excited to check it out. In November, there's a story of a New York City substitute teacher who is navigating being in New York, trying to survive as an artist in addition to having a demanding day job. So this is by Jennings. I love books about New York because I'm a New Yorker, and like, what is there not to love? I know other people from other places get sick of it, but the reason, I think there's a reason why New York is so rich for narrative, and it's not just because like it's an engine for the publishing industry. It's also because there's a really unique creative energy in New York, and with millions of people coming and going all the time, it's I think there's this sort of endless reservoir of possibility in terms of creativity and imagination, at least for me. So I almost never get sick about reading people's interpretations or how they channel that energy to talk about New York, because I think it demonstrates a special kind of creativity to like work in the tradition of writing about place, specifically for a place like New York, because there are so many different kinds of New York. Like if you're in the boroughs, for example, and you're writing about boroughs, which I love to do, it's a really specific kind of experience. My dog agrees. All right, last one. I think that's like a sign from the universe to like wrap it up. Black Punk Now is, I think, a collection of fiction, nonfiction, and comics. It's edited by James Spooner and Chris Terry. It comes out in October too. And I know nothing about Black punks at all, but this is about the current Black punk experience and how people have been living it. And I'm mostly interested in this because my nephew is really into like punk stuff, and he's like a tall, lovely, introverted Black man, and so I am like, oh, I wonder if this is what he experienced when he was really deep into it, and like diving into mosh pits and like scaring all of us half to death. So anyway, that's my selfish interest in this topic, and I'm excited to dig in and see what James Spooner, a graphic novelist, and Chris Terry, who wrote the novel Black Card, which was one of NPR's best books in 2019, have to say about this topic, or what they've curated, because it's a collection of a lot of different points of view, from comics, like I said, to some reflections from critics, and on and on. So I'm excited to dig into that. It's gonna be cool. All that said, that's what I think I have on my to-be read list. The books that I'm anticipating coming up in the fall, in between different speaking engagements. I don't know how regularly I'm going to be updating, but I am going to try and pop in, say what's up. I'll be more regular, probably writing on Substack, but even that is like not really a consistent situation, while I am still on something of a book tour. So thank you for your patience. Thanks for hanging in with me. I appreciate all of your love and your comments and your support on this channel, on Substack, my personal newsletter, my website. Like, thank you for all of it. It means so much to me. Such a wild ride. It's so exciting. It's so just rewarding. I hope that you've been having a great summer reading experience. I am still reading Hello Beautiful by Ayana Napolitano. I think it's Napolitano. I think it's the second one. And The Covenant of Water. I think I'm on page 600, which is bananas to me, but like I made it. Like I think I'm gonna finish by summer. So I think it's like more than 700 pages. It's worth it, but it is definitely like a big book. And I am soon to start Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. So if you're reading any of those things, if you're looking forward to any of these things, these books that are coming out, then feel free to comment. And I look forward to connecting with you in some form or fashion sometime soon.